evening and welcome to the Peace Circle, where we come together to be the change we wish to see in the world. So grateful to be here with you this evening. This is Gina, and I am here to share, yes, love. That is our topic for tonight. We are here to talk about love and every bit of the beauty that it is. From self-care and self-love to that divine principle that love is. You can see from the pillows in the background that it is by far one of my favorite subjects. And it's one of those things that I talk about all the time and strive to show up as. This morning, if you happen to catch the morning prayer, that's what we were talking about, is showing up as love and being that presence. And that's what we do here on the Peace Circle as well. How do I become the change I wish to see in the world? You see, I grew up in inner city Boston, and I didn't know how to find that peace, that love. I didn't know how to be that. So you could say, would you like more peace in your life? Of course I would. Of course, who wouldn't want world peace? Who wouldn't want that peace or to help bring it about? But when you don't know how, is it helpful to just use it as a soundbite, which so often happens? So I always begin our Peace Circle with the same poem, because to me, it is what it epitomizes. It is why we are here, to show up as that peace in the world. And the poem's title it's my poem called I Too Have a Dream. In my dream, too, we are all equal, and not color, religion, nor income defines who we are. Neither country nor region defines us as kin. Whether 2 legs or 4, plant or animal, we were all created of the one Creator, with no greater claim to borrow this beautiful earth. In my dream, we are all one, treating each other with love and respect, and living in peace. And I am knowing that love, that peace, that allness that is spirit, we know it in New Thought. We know it as love and law. We talk about in Science of Mind as love and law. Spirit is love, and law is how it works. Well, I know that what in this oneness that is, spirit is that love. Therefore, I am that love. But how do I show up as it? That's the question. And that's what I want to talk about today, is how do I show up as that love? How do I, be love? And not just lovable so that I'm kind and people want to be in my life, because that is part of it as well. But how do I shine that light that is within me, that divine principle? How do I celebrate it, live it on purpose? What does that look like? How do I create that? So I invite you tonight, as we go through, to be in that place of going deeper into that knowing, that divine knowing that allows us to be that change. So I am going to start tonight with a song. And I want you to listen to these words, because it's so true. We're going to listen to Sacred Love. And it is absolutely precious. And I invite you to be in this place by Neil Damon and just listen and know that this is who and whose you are.
You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God, sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, sacred love is all that you are. You blessed peace is all that you are. You are blessed peace, God. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy, deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, God. Deepest joy is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
So when we know that, when we actually remember that we are that sacred love, it's a way of honoring ourselves that nothing else has before. When I recognize that this body is spirit incarnate, that everything is stardust, that it's all made of the same stuff, that the magnificent creator of all that is made me, made you perfect, whole and complete, in the image and likeness. Knowing that spirit shows up as me today. Am I treating myself in that sacred way? You are sacred love. You weren't just born of it. We're not just aspiring to it. You are it. So when I know that, it allows me and it gives me the opportunity to love myself in a deeper way. And some of us were never trained that. I was not raised with self-care. I was told that that was selfish, not care. because, everybody else had needs and they wanted me to fill them. So that's how it worked. It was just all that my mother knew, and that's what she taught to other people. So when it comes to self-care, there's a book that definitely has helped me. I can't even tell you how much, and I often refer to it. Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And it literally is going through and figuring out, okay, what were the unkind things? Or what are some of the practices that I need to just look at again? And not in no way of being judgmental, but simply looking at it like a rumble strip. Because if I'm not happy, if I'm not exuding that love, if I'm not showing up in that light, then something's off. That's a rumble strip. So to be that love, I have to feel that love. And I have to give from my overflow, because otherwise I'm just dissipating my own strength, my own love. And I can't give from that source. It weakens me, and that's where dis-ease comes in. That's where the exhaustion, that's where depression, that's where all kinds of things that take away that zest of life, that exuberance, that love, that bliss. So all the good stuff that we're here with and for starts with acknowledging who and whose we are. I am that magnificent child of divine, as you are that magnificent child. And just as you care for a small child, it's important that we care for ourselves in the same way. So Louise Hay says in her book, Loving the Self, no matter what their problem seems to be, there is only one thing I ever work on with anyone, and this is loving the self. Love is the miracle cure. Loving ourselves works miracles in our lives. I'm not talking about vanity or arrogance or being stuck up, but that is not love. That is only fear. I'm talking about having a great respect for ourselves and a gratitude for the miracle of our bodies and our minds. Love, to me, is appreciation to such a degree that it fills my heart to bursting and overflows. Love can go in any direction. I can feel love for. In this, I'm going to read the list to you. The very process of life itself, the joy of being alive, the beauty that I see, another person, knowledge, the process of the mind, our bodies and the way they work, animals, birds, fish, vegetation in all its forms, the universe and the way that it works. There's so many more things that we can feel love for and about. But it's so important that we add us to the top of the list. There's times in my life that I've gone through and I've looked at different things that if I should do differently. Who did I, need to say I'm sorry to? Who did I possibly not honor to the best of my ability? And when I looked at my life, I was on the top of that list. There's a big part of any 12-step program is that place of basically you tell people you're sorry. You look and you are in that place of asking, you're asking for forgiveness. And it's humbling in the sense of I put myself to right size, but it's not about humiliation. It's simply about looking at what are my actions and were they appropriate? And if my side of the street is clear, then I have nothing to worry about. But if it's not, then I need to say I'm sorry. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's learning how to own our space, because we're not supposed to be perfect. Perfectly unique, yes, but there's no guilt or shame in any of that. It's knowing, like I said, who and whose we are and being in that place, that pure honoring of ourselves first. Now, there's a book that I absolutely there's so much stuff I love that I'm going to share tonight. A couple of different things, but I have a poem that I'd love to read you. It's called I Am Love. And this is one of my newer ones. It says, love is expressing as me now. Joy is the optimism I feel for this day. Peace is the stillness and steadfastness within me. Harmony is the symphony I hear and see in nature, from the birds and the dogs to the winds and the trees. Wisdom is the divine connection inspiring these words. Beauty is in the kind thoughts and prayers of compassion I have and share with others. Life is demonstrated in each and every breath. Power is in my abilities to both do or be still and know. Infinite potential is my choice. For what will I call forth today? Sacred is the gratitude I have for knowing that all God is, I am. So it's knowing that I am that I am. One of the people that I've always admired is Mother Teresa. And she showed up, this meek, tiny little woman showed up in Calcutta with two hands and a heart. And that's how she ministered to people. There were many she couldn't help. She didn't have the medicine to heal them. She didn't have the cure. But she could show up and she could be with someone and she could love them and give them that dignity, hold them as they, passed and transitioned to the next plane of existence. She could be with them and honor and love them in that moment. And there is nothing more sacred than that. And one thing that I never knew, and many people didn't, is she suffered depression. She was often very sad for many reasons. They actually printed her memoirs, and when you look at that, it's hard to imagine that someone that was in such pain, such sentimental torture for herself, could be so loving to the world. So now it's important for us to remember that, yes, it's wonderful to show up for the world and to be there and be that love in our families, in our relationships, even in our workplaces, showing up as that light. And it's also important that we receive it. It's not about letting our light go out. When we have needs, we witness it. We witness it and we honor it. Whatever the need may be, it's being honest. It's not spiritual bypassing. It's not pretending I don't have needs. Everyone does. It's normal. So it's choosing to know and knowing that self-love teaches other people and gives them permission to honor themselves as well. Any parent, of course, you want to be there first for your kids, but at the same time, what are you teaching them? If you're not taking care of you, you're teaching them how to not take care of them. So there's so many layers of it, and it's learning how to be that in the world and show up a little bit differently. So I invite you, as you settle in, close your eyes and ask, what do I need to know? How can I better love and care for myself? How do I better show up as love for myself and others today?
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
So there is only love. And Ernest Holmes says, love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. It can be ignored. To the extent that we abandon love, we will feel it has abandoned us. Denying love is our only problem, and embracing it is the only answer. Through the power of love, we can let go of past history and begin again. Love heals, forgives, and makes whole. So it is that practice and that knowing that it is there, but am I paying attention to it? I've known a lot of people that feared allowing people getting close because they were afraid to be hurt. Whether they'd been hurt in the past or they were just in fear of it, it doesn't matter the why. We have to allow it in. And at times we do hurt. You know, there are people that are in our lives today that won't be down the line. And there are people that were here yesterday that aren't anymore. So we have to be aware of the fact that while love and that experience of it lasts forever, yes, we may lose, we may love and in this plane of existence no longer see or be around. And it may feel difficult, but it is so worth it. It's what we're here for. It's why we came. In the Daily Word on Sunday, September 13th, 2020, the reading is on love. It says, I open my heart in love. I express the love I feel in my heart by showing my affection and giving nurturing attention. I speak loving, positive words that let those I care about know how much they mean to me. As my words affirm their goodness, beauty, and intelligence, I watch those qualities bloom like flowers blessed by sunshine. I love that. I watch those qualities bloom like flowers blessed by sunshine. I extend my arms and embrace my family and friends with the warmth and comfort of unconditional love. I support my loved ones with compassion and care on their journey through life. I share my wisdom as I teach, my experience as I advise, and my understanding as I console. I pray for those I love, knowing that the Christ within them is the light that guides them everywhere they go and in everything they do. I am grateful for my role in my loved ones' lives. We get to be here. That's how I look at it. I get to be here. I get to share this thing called life with people. And that means that I'm showing up, and I have some rough edges sometimes, and so does everyone else. You know, we each have our own ways, and sometimes people are easier to get along with than others, and all of it is okay. But it's being in that place and opening my heart that I may receive others and also give to them. And not just because they've given to me. It is about showing up as that change we wish to see. If we want a peaceful life, we must be in peace. I cannot create something I am not. It is within me, and I must find it. That be still and know. Well, that's where love is as well. It's already there. Children are born loving. They're born happy. They're born cuddling. When their babies are born, they already know, and they're nurtured and they're loved. We never stop needing that. It just comes from different places. So it's so important that we show up as love. People can feel it. You can tell when someone is sincere, when someone wants to be there with you. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're at a doctor's office and you're looking for that care and comfort, or if you're at a library and you ask a question and someone greets you with, "Hi, how are you?" Wherever you are, I don't care if it's the grocery store, it doesn't matter. Showing up with a smile, it's our light that we're shining. When you look in someone's eyes, you can see the light in them. That's when love's alive. That's when that joy of spirit is there. Are we living in that love, in that light? Not because someone's earned it, but because we are in that oneness. A house divided against itself will fall. This we know. So am I putting myself against anyone or anything? We're in a tricky time right now. And what does that look like? Hate poisons me. That I know. Hate of any kind poisons me. So there's either an act of love or a cry for love. And oftentimes the people that are the hardest, that seem the hardest to love, they may frustrate us and we may not understand their actions, their words. They're the ones that need the love the most. So if I want peace, I must be at peace. If I want love, I must radiate that love out into the world. And it is so important to make sure that we're doing that in a fully encompassing way, that no one is out, as this morning's reading, actually, in Science of Mind magazine, Dr. David All talked about, is there anyone outside of your heart today? Is there anyone that you're choosing to not let in? Well, open up and allow all of life in. All of it is miraculous. And as I read in the poem earlier, with no greater claim to borrow this beautiful earth. Am I living conscious of that? There's times in any given day that stuff happens. If you're on the road and there's people that literally, there's road rage. One of the things that I love, Louise Hay used to always say, she'd get in the car, and before she even started the car, she would bless all of it. She would bless the car, she would bless the road, everyone on the road, she would bless it all, and then she would start. And she had a wonderful ride in every day. There are moments sometimes that we may not experience that. I can tell where I am by how I react in traffic. If someone cuts me off and I'm livid, then I am not emotionally in the right place. Thankfully, most of the time, I'm thankful that I'm not in as big a hurry as they are. That's how I look at it. Spirit, get me there safely, and thank you. May they get there safely. Thank you for not making me in that much of a hurry. And again, not in judgment, but simply in a place of knowing that my peace is here in each and every now moment, and that no driver should ever be able to take that away from me. And doing the best of my ability and showing up as that. My favorite Ernest Holmes book, of course, there's the textbook, but I love this thing called Give. You can see all the little tabs and stuff that I have here. I absolutely love this book. And I believe that this is a love letter from Spirit. If Divine could say, this is how I feel, this is what I know of you, I believe that that would be this book. It is absolutely beautiful. And I encourage you, if you've never read it, get it. It's Ernest Holmes, this thing called You. If you have, read it again as that love letter. It's beautiful. And on page 129, he writes, knowing that the loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I feel this loving protection around me. I know that the song of joy, of love, of peace is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my being. Therefore, I tune out of my mind all unhappy and negative ideas. I turn the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life, into brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of the radiant Spirit. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. Joyfully, I anticipate greater abundance, more success, and a deeper peace. Joy wells up in my mind, and life sings its song of ecstasy in my heart. So much in that little paragraph that just opens my heart. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me in all my affairs. So I let God be God today. My heart is open, my hands and heart, I'm ready to receive all good that's coming to me through and as Spirit today. And the last line that says, joy wells up within my mind, and life sings its song of ecstasy in my heart. And they've also come to realize that the heart has as many neural pathways as the brain. And it actually is that center as well. It's not just coming from the mind, The heart itself we're living through that. Love has the ability to make or break. And it's how we express it that makes all the difference. So showing up as compassion, as love, as care allows me to be that presence. And I cannot be the light without experiencing the comfort, the peace of it. So when I am giving love, I'm experiencing love. And it cannot help but come back to me. So when we think in terms of our relationships, it's not about what someone else is doing. It's about how am I showing up in this? And asking Spirit to guide that way, allow that flow. What does this look like? I know there's a bigger picture than what I can see. So I can ask that question. You know, it's simply asking, what would love do in this moment? Even if I'm frustrated or angry or aggravated or seeming like something is wrong, I can ask that question. What would love do now? What would that look like? So I'm going to play this song by Eddie Watkins Jr. And I encourage you in your life, if there are circumstances or relationships that there's questions in your mind about, ask, what would love do now? What would that look like? And let Spirit be your guide.
Just before you say something you can't take away, take a breath, then let it out. Try to think about what would love do now. Wondering if you should cross that line for good. Whatever you decide, ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know. That's real. Whether right or wrong, doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love, in the end, that's all we know. That's real. Whether right or wrong, doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what will love do now? What will love do now?
In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes defines love as the self-givingness of spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. We are also told in the New Testament that he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. I believe it's what we're here for, that love and that bliss of life. I believe that's why we're here. And in page 43, spirit is what love is. Love rules through law. And it says, in an intelligent study of the teachings of science of mind, we come to understand that all is love, and yet all is law. Love rules through law. Love is the divine givingness. Law is the way. Love is spontaneous. Law is impersonal. We should study the nature of reality with this in mind. And in this way, we shall avoid two grave mistakes, either viewing life as made up of only mechanical laws, or viewing it as made up only of spontaneous action, irrespective of law and order. As we gain the broader viewpoint, we shall see that life must contain two fundamental characteristics. We shall see that there is an infinite spirit operating through an infinite and immutable law. In this cosmos, and not chaos, finds an eternal existence in reality. Love points the way, and law makes the way possible. So that love is how it works. Love is what we are, and law is how it works. So it is being that. Spirit has already said, it is gives us the kingdom. It is ours. Am I receiving it? Am I practicing it? Am I showing up as it in that joyful way? And when I claim it, when I know it, when I am it, it flows through law. It can be no other way. So love is the seed that we plant. And that law is how it works to bloom. So it's knowing that it is already done and allowing it to be. So it's up to us to be there, planting those seeds in the world, showing up in amazing ways, and being that compassion, being that two hands and a heart, showing up as love today. And everybody's different in how we express it, but it always is important to be that consciousness, to be mindful of it. Because when I am it, there's a peace that comes with that nothing else can be. When I show up as compassion, there's been many times in my life that I have been the consoler. There's been a lot of times in my life that I have wanted to be consoled, but people didn't know how to. I had created that role that I was the caretaker. So everybody figured I was okay. I never paved the way to allow people in. So it's important that when we need it, we ask for what we need. We create these relationships, these loving relationships, but people aren't necessarily mind readers, and they don't know what we need. So if we need a friend to be around, call and ask for it. Ask for what you need. Be in that place of knowing what I give, I will receive. I expect it and I know that it is there. And be in that, ask for what you need and remember you are worthy of it. Just because I can doesn't mean it's mine to do. There's a lot of things that I can do, a lot of people that I can care for, but something's got to give. I can't do everything well. So when it comes to being in that place, make sure we're on our list and we're things to do, caring and nurturing and loving ourselves and others. But it can't be at our own diminishment. Like, it can't be at our own expense. And when I do it, I am ignited. Any service that I do, anything that I do with and as love, I'm not just rewarded in monetary ways. I'm rewarded in that light and love from inside, those intangibles. So in Louise Hay's Heart Thoughts book, she says, every time you meditate, do a visualization for healing or say something geared toward healing our planet. You are connecting with the like-minded people all over the world. So when you think about, well, what can I do to help heal this planet? How do I show up as peace? Well, when I meditate, when I take that time of just stillness, I can send love out to the world. I can be that light. I can shine brightly, boldly, be compassion, and be love. Just like when someone needs to be consoled. If someone is going through a loss and grieving, they're not looking for you to fix it. You can't bring someone back, but you can talk about the love that they are, and it will always be in their life. You know, I look at it as I can't be grieving and sad and grateful that they were in my life at the same time. So most often I am celebrating the life of the people that I loved. And I still love them, and I will always love them. That doesn't go anywhere just because the plane of existence is different. So I can show up in a loving way and just tell someone I'm thinking of them. And that is enough. It is uplifting to know we're not alone. So she goes on and says, I help create a world where we are safe to love each other. And there is nothing more important in our society right now than that. Creating a world where it's safe to love each other. We can help create a world where it is safe to love each other, where we can be loved and accepted exactly as we are. It is something we all wanted when we were children, to be loved and accepted exactly as we were. Not when we got taller or brighter or prettier or more like our cousin or sister or neighbor across the way, but to be loved and accepted exactly as we were. We grow up and want the same, to be loved and accepted exactly as we are right here and right now. But we're not going to get it from other people unless we can give it to ourselves first. When we can love ourselves, it becomes easier for us to love other people. When we love ourselves, we don't hurt ourselves and we don't hurt other people. We let go of all prejudices and beliefs about one group or another not being good enough. When we realize how incredibly beautiful we all are, we have the answer to the world peace. A world where it is safe for us to love each other. So when we realize how incredibly beautiful we all are, we have the answer to world peace. And it is reaching for that in each moment that we can. It's living it as that dharma and purpose of who and whose we are. It's when someone looks like they could use some help and we have the ability, why not? Why not be that light? A candle never loses its own light when it shares it and lights it with another candle. If anything, they just shine brighter. There is no limit to what love can do. I love the song, Love Can Build a Bridge between your heart and mine. And it truly does that. So it's being in that awareness of allowing that to be built, that love, that joy. Love always knows what to do because love is spirit and spirit is within. So if we listen to that still small voice, we are always directed. It's trusting and being in that faithful space of loving ourselves, therefore loving others. You know, they say hurt people hurt people, and healed people heal people. So sometimes we are hurt, and it's okay, because that means we gave ourselves that opportunity to love, to show up and experience life on life's terms. We all go through things that we're not always going to be happy. And it's okay to not be okay here and there. It doesn't mean we have to stay there. It's not our destiny. It's a momentary feeling. It's an emotion. It's not our truth. It's just our experience at any given moment in life. And we reach towards the light. We reach towards the love. If no one else has told you today, I love you, and I am for you, and I know Spirit loves you, and Spirit is for you. There is only that love. Anything is possible through it. So when we show up and we shine that light of truth, we tip the scales, and it becomes a more loving planet. Anything and everything is possible. But we have to have faith in that and know it. Not when we see it, we'll believe it, but believing it and bringing it about for that highest good, as that highest good. Spirit is amazing, and Spirit works through us. It's not somewhere else. It's working through us, through using the law, through people. You know, Spirit is closer than my breath. It is both the breath and the breather. So every word that I speak, I'm animated by divine. Now, some people don't always seem like that. They don't always look like they're being animated by divine, but they are. It's a matter of living from your highest plane of beingness. Some haven't found that yet, but your kindness can help get them there. Because againstness will never work. Another thing that Mother Teresa always said is that she'd show up for a peace rally. She would rally for peace, but she'd never protest. She wasn't against the war. She wasn't against anything. She was for peace and love. She was for that unity, but she was not against anything. So what are you for? How are you shining and being that love in the world? And the last thing I'm going to read is from Ernest Holmes from Creative Ideas, which is a great little book. And if you don't know about it, basically they're small little treatments. They're all small little prayers. It's a great book. And it says, I bestow the essence of love. Love is the fulfillment of law. That is, we never can make the most perfect use of law unless that use is motivated by love, by a sincere desire to express unity, harmony, and peace. As true artists wed themselves to the essence of beauty, imbibing its spirit that they may transmit it to the canvas, so we must wed ourselves to the essence of love, that we may imbibe it and transmitting it give loveliness to all events. We should not hesitate to express our appreciation for people, things, and events. There's too little enthusiasm about life. And then his treatment is, I now rejoice in living. All my sorrows, unhappiness, and regrets are definitely and quietly subjected to the transmuting quality of love. Divine love never remains abstract, but in a vital and dynamic manner molds every aspect of my experience. As I accept the action of love in my life, I bestow the essence of love upon everything. This love is a healing power touching everything into wholeness, healing the wounds of experience with its balm. With the enthusiasm and joy, I embody love in my thoughts and acts, and the perfect action of the law makes love manifest in my experience. Everything is beautiful and meaningful as I accept and express love in every way. So, what are you allowing in your experience today? What are you shining? What are you showing up as? What are you expecting? We have the power to make tremendous change. That's how we bring about peace. But the change has to start in us. That peace has to be where I am. That love that is where I am needs to radiate and multiply out in the world. And we do that consciously when we choose to show up as love. Children do it every day. They don't need to be conscious of it. They just are it. And it's our job to help keep that there so that that doesn't go away, so that their enthusiasm for life never changes. So I encourage you, if there's any questions or comments, let me know. Reach out to me, Gina at believein.youtoday.com. I'm a practitioner as well as a life coach, and I would love to help you to create that loving, more uplifting, positive life. If I, in any way, if there's questions, reach out to me, please. And know that we're here at ntmedia.org. We are here to be, 8:15 a.m. and p.m., or that's Central Time, 10:15 a.m. and p.m. for Eastern time zone. We are here to pray and know truth. Join us for that morning or evening prayer every day. We are here with all kinds of shows all day long. And this platform is here because of people like you. So I encourage you that if you've been blessed here, tell people about it. Let us know. Reach out, go to ntmedia.org, donate, whatever it is you have to offer. We appreciate, and I know that what you give comes back tenfold in so many ways. So I encourage you to take a look at all the different shows on this network and be that catalyst of love, that catalyst of hope and joy. Be that which you wish to see in the world. I am so grateful to have you here and to be here with you tonight. Thank you for being here and talking about love. And yes, my Kitty Poe is also wishing you love and blessings. Be that change you wish to see. And thank you for sharing this time with me tonight. Love and blessings to you.